Hi, my name is Reed and today we're doing Inktober. So today is October the 6th, so we're doing Inktober day 6 for the art drawing challenge. I'm very tired. Leave my English alone. So basically I've done this kind of Batgirl, but not in the traditional way. She's not Batman inspired. She's just a girl who likes to hold bats. Yeah, like she just kind of carries around bats. She's like the Bat Whisperer. Bat Whisperer? Yeah. So she's, just has lots of bat friends and they all just hang out. But sorry, puns, I'm terrible. So yeah. Here I'm just painting her dress. In real life it was a little bit lighter, so I just keep going over it to make it slightly darker slowly. Here I am mixing in the pure black Indian ink to the second colour, which is Indian ink with a lot of water. But then I decided it wasn't enough, so here I'm just using an eyedropper pipette thing. You can get a ton of these for like $1 or something. I don't know, I got these a long time ago, and they're very useful for inks that don't come with their own little pipette thing. Because some inks don't, some inks do, but yeah, I find them really useful for that. Here I'm just using my heat gun and going over the arms a bit more, trying to make them match the dress center? Bodice bit? I don't know, like the bit that covers her boobs and stuff. I know women's fashion. I can girl. No, I can't. Anyway, so I'm just filling it in a bit more, going around the bats, even though I probably could have just gone over the bats because they're the same colour as her arms anyway, but whatever. It's just, just going over, leaving spots again for the bats and their little feet. And going over again, making it darker. So this drawing is a lot closer to my current style, but it's just not quite as good in quality and proportion. I really struggled with her face, and I think halfway through I ended up just scraping her face and redrawing it completely. But even when I was prepping for Inktober, I redrew her face like 4 or 5 times, and I couldn't get it right. Her face is still, I think, a little bit off, but I'm still really liking the way it came out. Could have been better again, but whatever. I'm still glad I did this one because it shows my improvement through the month of August and September when I was drawing all of these. Here I'm just filling in her lips with my small black Faber-Castell pen. Again, I'm using the exact same supplies that I did in my first video. So just basic Indian ink with a tiny bit of food dye, water, paint, student grade paint brushes, and just stuff like that. So I didn't want to make her hair dark because I didn't want to lose it against the hood and the dress. So I decided to go for this very pale grey that would only be slightly darker than her skin. So it kind of like she had silvery hair because I thought that would be badass because I often give my characters very dark hair. I don't know why, I just kind of tend to. And there I am adding in the skin and dabbing it off because it's a little bit darker than I want. But yeah, so just adding in all of her skin. You can't really see it because it's very faint, but I wanted it to be very pale. Mostly because I like giving my characters a very pale, dead look. Like for my cat girl video, I did give her a darker skin tone, but normally I give them a dead skin tone, not just pale, but like deathly pale. I don't know why, I just love the way it looks. As you guys can see, I'm quite pale too. I mean, I'm not as pale as I want to be because I want to be like deathly pale, like you see those really gorgeous goth girls, but yeah, I am trying to work on diversifying my skin tones because I think all skin tones are great. I just really love the way dead looks because it adds an element of creepy, and I like the girls I draw to be kind of creepy but also kind of seductive. So I don't know if it comes across, but yeah, I give them like real creepy eyes where they've got like almost no eye whites. I like to give them really, really long necks and big hands. Because if you notice in Disney, they give them very small, dainty hands. Whereas it looks really creepy if you give them really big hands. So I often do that. And I just give them a very kind of they don't care expression, which somehow makes them look much creepier. Don't know why, but yeah. This one doesn't show off as great because her hair's covering a lot of her neck, so you can't really tell how long it is. But I did give her quite an elongated neck, but something I'm getting better at. Here I am just colouring in the little bats that are hanging from her arms. I found that it was quite difficult because you can't really load up your brush too much when you're trying to do details and stuff because then it leaks everywhere. But then if you don't, you kind of end up with a bit of patchiness. Also, sorry, I'm left-handed, so there is a slight gap between that side of the page and the illustration because my hand can't get in there. Because it's kind of, I could, but it'd be a very awkward angle for my arm and not putting my wrist in danger just to get to the edge of the page, you know. See, I went over these the first time and just to get the base colour down. Yeah, so yeah. So all the bats are kind of in different poses, but I realised, oh sorry, I missed a lot of footage. Don't know where that went. But here I am. Oh yeah, I paused it and thought I was playing. So here I am because I couldn't really see the underlines anymore, so I got the photocopy of the sketch and just did all the details on them, which you can't really see, but it does sort of add more to it. In real life, that is. So yeah, just adding more lines using the photocopy of the sketch as a reference. Yeah. So yeah, the middle bit on my right arm and the other bit on her left arm, my left arm, kind of look the same. But the rest of them are all kind of in different poses. I didn't want them all to look the same. So here I am. I just loaded up my brush with kind of a mid-tone, just to kind of sort out the patchiness that had happened. So yeah, just doing that to all the bats. Dabbing it off where it started leaking into the face, because it happens when you load up your brush in a very small area. I think that happened to this bat that I'm working on now. It kind of leaked by its face. You can see it's starting to happen now, but yeah. That was unfortunate, but oh well, not much you can really do. I just kind of tried to wipe it out with my finger, and then I tried to wipe it out with a bit of tissue and water, and that kind of helped a bit. Using my heat gun some more, just to really make sure everything's dry. Sorry, as I said, I'm still kind of sick. Yeah, I think at this point I kind of zoned out because I was trying to change the movie I was watching. That's why I was using the heat gun for so damn long. So here I am just adding in her tattoos. So on this leg I'm working on, she has this moon phase with night blooming jasmine. All the flowers she has on her are night blooming because I thought she's a bat lady. She's going to have flowers that bloom at night because that's obviously when she's going to be awake, because bats are nocturnals. I don't know, I like doing that kind of thing with characters. I like making their tattoos work with what they would do. Yeah, and on this leg I have, oh, well, I'm not going to do that leg yet. I'm going to do the hair. So just adding in some details of the hair. Hair is something I really want to improve on because I think it looks a little bit plain. The way I do it, I really love the way Jacqueline DeLeon uses it with the big flowy hair. I think it looks fucking great. I want to do that so bad. So I did lighten up her hair a bit with an eraser because it was looking a bit dark. So this leg, she has tuberose, which is another night blooming flower. It's a very pretty one. Basically, it's kind of like a little trumpet-shaped flower. I don't know why it's called a rose because it doesn't look anything like a rose. But yeah, just night blooming flowers. And yeah, I really love night blooming flowers. They're very, very pretty. And I use them a lot in my characters because they all seem to be nocturnal for some reason. And here I am using the end of a colour pencil for the eraser just to kind of lighten it up a bit because sometimes I'm a little bit heavy-handed. Oh, and here I'm just starting to work on her chest and neck piece, which is a bat surrounded by moonflowers, which is another nocturnal flower by the name and the theme of the drawing. But yeah, so I'm just adding that now. Sorry you can't really see it because my hand's in the way because I'm left-handed. But if you look to the left, you can see the photocopy of the sketch I did, where you can kind of see it. Well, you can kind of see parts of it now when I've moved my hand, but yeah. So, basically all these sketches were done back to back in a sketchbook that I was currently working in. So I photocopied them so I can trace them into this sketchbook, which I made for Inktober. So yeah, that's the whole reason why you might see a photocopy version every now and then, because sometimes I don't trace it properly. Here I'm just working on the face. Her face in the left is completely different to the face that I'm working on now because, as I said, I redrew it. I just was like, this face isn't working, I'm going to redraw it completely. So I did. I think I definitely prefer the one I did here. It looks a bit better. And that just shows, you know, my skill improved and I got better at faces. But yeah, this face still isn't great. I think it's just because I would probably have to redraw the whole drawing to get it right, but I think it still looks pretty good. So I am just adding in some blush, although it's very, very light, so you can't really see it. Just adding it to her knees, her chest, where her collarbones would be, her shoulders, and her face. It's very light. Oh, and her, yeah, adding in shadows now. Starting out with very light, and then I start building them up later. Just adding in her collarbones, and I'm slightly off camera here. As you can see, the later it gets into the video, the less I remember to check the cameras to make sure I'm in the shot. So, yeah, here we go. Capture. So here I am just darkening up. Oh, my camera's decided to not focus again. Wow, it's bloody great. I don't know why it keeps doing that. Anyway, so here I am just adding in some pencil lines to kind of divide the hair from the face, darkening up the eyes, because I wanted to have quite dark eyes. And then here I'm adding in the white highlights. So I didn't add white highlights to the eyes of the bats, which I accidentally forgot, but oh well. It's not that big of a deal. Anyway, here I am just colouring in this bat that's flying away from her background, which I begin to add in a second. Let me just finish colouring this. I'm using the bold or the brush tip one of the Faber-Castell 4-pen set. So here I'm adding in the background. I was going to add another moon, but I felt like I just didn't want to do that after the last drawing, which was a cat and a moon. So I decided I'd go for kind of an ombre thing. So it'd be lighter up the top and darker at the bottom. That way her costume would stand out because her costume is darker at the top and lighter at the bottom. See, I can think. Not really, it's kind of happened by accident. Originally I was going to do the whole thing like a medium grey, but then I was like, actually, hold on, the wing bits are going to blend in. So I have to make the bottom bit darker. Yeah, so ombreing or gradient thing with ink is actually very difficult, I find. It's a lot easier to do with watercolour, and that's what I'm used to. So every time I've tried to do a gradient, it's not turned out the greatest. I mean, it's okay. But, yeah, it's just, yeah, I'm used to doing it with watercolours. I don't know why it's so difficult to do with ink, but I really struggle doing it with ink. So here I am just adding in the kind of shape of the bat. So it looks like it just came out of the background because I thought that'd be cool. Here I'm just adding up some final lines with the black pencil again. Adding in some darker shadows under her neck to her, and then I'm pretty much done. Bye! The result of Inktober Day 6. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. I really enjoyed filming this one. It's a lot closer to my current style, which you guys will see in later videos. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope to see you guys tomorrow. Don't forget to take your paintbrush